Hi, I'm Cisco, project manager with Stellar Roofing. Today here in West Henrietta, we have 3 jobs running at the same time on the same street on the same day. There's nothing better. Stellar's built for this. Here we're working on an 18 square roof. We're working on a full redeck, which consists of us removing the old plywood and installing brand new plywood. The one that was originally on the roof was 3/8 a thinner plywood, and we're installing it with a 7/16 thicker and more sturdier. With the thicker plywood, it'll help maintain the structure of your roof and hold more weight. So the crew's done with the tear off. They're ready to start the installment. Let's jump on the next house, see what they got going on. Here we have house number 2. They're doing the tear off, and surprisingly, it became a full redeck, just like house number 1. Originally, it wasn't a redeck, but since we were tearing off and we saw that the plywood was bad and rotted, it had to be a full redeck. This is one of Stellar's process. When we do the tear off, we want to tear off all the way down to the decking. That way we could properly inspect it and make sure that the decking is healthy. And if the plywood is not, then that's when we take the next step and getting fresh new plywood installed. Now let's head up and see how the project is going. So as you can see here, during the tear off, we inspected the plywood and saw that the plywood was actually 3/8 plywood, a very thin plywood, which it's not advised to have, especially in the snow belt of New York. This is a very thin plywood, and accumulation of snow or buildup will definitely damage this plywood. Here we have one example of having 3/8 decking. There was water intrusion, and this is what happens to the plywood, especially if it's thin as 3/8. As the crew continues the tear-off process, let's see what Jesse has down the street.
Thanks, Cisco. So we're doing house number 3. Right here in West Henrietta. As you can see, we finished the full tear off. During the tear off, we found some moldy fascia boards, seething fascia boards, and we had to replace a few pieces of decking. So right now, everything is ice and watertight. We have our custom-made felt paper, which is the light gray that you see up there. We also have regular ice shield that goes between your valleys. It goes 2 rows up just to help prevent and minimize the ice damming in the winters. We do ice shield in the valleys to basically seal it, make sure that it's leak proof. And then for this house, the way the chimney is, we decided to add a cricket. So we added the cricket so that way the water disperses instead of just sitting behind the chimney.
Once the roof is dried in, the next step in the roofing project is getting the shingles up on the roof. The crew uses the ladder hoist, which feeds shingles one by one in a bundle on top of the roof, where they'll lay the shingles and then start the install process. Having the ladder hoist is convenient because the crew doesn't have to carry the bundle one by one. They place the shingle on the ladder hoist, feeding the shingles up onto the roof. Having the ladder hoist saves time and is less stress on the crew's body. The next step is the installment of shingle. As one crew member nails the shingle down, the other crew member will pass the shingles along. And this process continues as they start from bottom up, working their way up to the ridge, having the roof completely shingled. Next step is the ridge vent. On the peak of the roof, the ridge, the crew will leave 1.5 to 2 inches on both sides so that they can install the ridge vent, allowing air come in through the soffit and escape out through the ridge. So right here we have the crew feeding up the plywood on the ladder hoist, bringing it up to the top so that they could get ready to do the redeck. Once they're done getting the roof watertight, that's when the process of shinglings begin. After the shingling process of this roof and putting all the final details, that will wrap this portion of the project up. Let's check in with Jesse, see where he's at.
For this project, we're adding 3 pipe boots as well as ridge vents to allow that air to flow through. We also take apart the siding, throw ice shield underneath, flash everything, and then put the siding back. And it's simply just to make sure that that roof to wall transition stays protected. And then for this house, they have a rusty old furnace. So we're gonna paint it. We're gonna clean it, paint it to allow it to match the rest of the roof. Most companies don't do that. And we want everything to blend in together. We don't want to take away from the work, and we don't want anything that takes away from it as well. It ties everything in. This completes 3 stellar jobs here in West Henrietta from Cisco and myself. Thank you for watching.